Okay, out in our 1959 Axeman Anderson we got here. We're doing a couple of strange experiments on it. But for right now, earlier in the week we got our relays in, so we removed the two automotive relays that run the two motors, and we installed the correct ones in the they're mounted on the other side of these screws inside the project box. And the other thing we've been doing is playing around trying to figure out how to do a different type of ashing setup. Basically the idea is I would like to remove this frame, handle, and lever to have them out of here, but we have to do one of two things. Either we have to turn this shaft at a very, very slow speed, which is something like 0.08 RPM, so I refer to it as grate cycles per hour. So basically, every time this spins around, the grate inside here will move back and forth once. So right now we're with this adjusted at like 2.5 teeth, and this auger spinning at, I think it's 3.45 RPM. That gives us a little over 10 grate cycles per hour. So we've got it figured that a 1725 RPM motor driving this is a 1764 to 1 gearbox through a 1.5 inch pulley on the motor and a 6 inch pulley on there gives us I think it's 9.8 grate cycles per hour. So basically that setup, if we could like chain drive it off of here, or the reason I have it over here now is because I was thinking of going direct, just making a hole in the front of the base there to put a rod through and connect that to the front of the grate, and just have this pulley on here drag the rod back and forth, and that would accomplish the same thing we do with all this. But that's a whole other project. We're not going to do that today. This is a gentleman janitor gearbox we got here. I was thinking of using that, but I think it runs at, I think it gears down only half as much as the Yellow Flame box does there. So the Yellow Flame is a good choice for this. But anyway, periodically, since I seem to operate way out in the wilderness on these settings on these things, sometimes I just like to go back to the original settings just to see how it runs. So right now, like I said, we're spinning the auger at 3.45 RPM. Originally from the factory, they spin them at 8 point something RPM, I forget what, but it's more than twice as fast as we're spinning this right now. And the fan, we are way, way, way lower than normal. Normally, you have a 5 inch pulley on the motor and a 3 inch pulley on the fan. And that gives you 2875 RPMs. What we're running right now is a little under 1300 RPMs. So way, 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 way slower. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take our normal, today's Friday, we're going to take our normal Sunday readings on this and do a new coal usage calculations and stuff like that. And then we're going to run it with the original settings, which means we're going to just change the pulleys and the belts so the fan runs at 2875 RPM and the auger runs at something like 8 RPM. And we'll run that for probably till Sunday and see what happens. I mean, unless something looks really bad and I feel the need to change it, but just for giggles, we're gonna go back to normal and see what it does. Okay, so here we are with the original settings. Just so you know, this isn't hooked up. It's just sitting there. So yeah, it's a bit more of a raucous machine when running at the original factory settings. I'm pretty sure the settings that I had are probably the right thing to do, but we're going to run it like this for a few days just to say we did and see what we get out of it. So you see the auger spinning like twice as fast as it was before. So I knocked the ashing adjustment back this way. So now it's basically grabbing 2 teeth rather than 3 teeth. 2 teeth, right? Click, click. Click, click. 2 teeth, okay. And the stack temperature goes a lot higher on the original settings. That's one of the clues that makes me think the way I had it is actually the right way. Right now it's at 450 degrees on the barbecue thermometer. The Inkbird is still struggling to catch up because it kind of went up there fast. So it's really more than 356 degrees. And to get closer to normal, we bumped this up, the ashing temperature up to 130. But the main thing that'll happen is the fire will get much more intense. And bright. I'll have to clean up the fire door to get a better look at this later. Yeah, it's rip-roaring away right now. Wow. It gets fully revved pretty quickly. See, that's all moving a lot faster than what it was before. All right. Okay, it's on another heat call now. Coming up the temperature. Rip-roaring like crazy. And I cleaned the fire door up. Pretty crazy looking. Cat's pretty happy about these settings. He says, the boiler's going to give off more heat to the garage now, so I will be warm. Right, Cat? You like it when it runs like this. Yeah, furry fur bag, yeah. Yeah, it's ripping right now. Ooh, man. It's roaring out the chimney right now. I was kind of surprised when it shut down. It like actually roared pretty good. Well, that's it. I'm gonna run it like this for a few days and see what happens. Original kinda settings. Ooh. Going again. I'm running in PID mode now, so as it approaches the set point, it will shut down and come back on. Right now it says A17, so it's like 17% on. So set point is 160. Hysteresis is 5 degrees, so it's going to try to get to 165. So it's still got a degree, 1.2 degrees to go. So it's probably going to kick on one more time. I don't hear the boiler kettling yet. When you get it rip roaring along like this for a while, it'll kettle really good. Maybe over the weekend we'll try to get some audio of it kettling. Well, I guess it's not going to come back on. Is it? Where are we at? Ah, we're over 165. So it just coasted over 165. So it went to A0, which means it shouldn't come back on until the next heat call. Okay, that's it for today.